Hey everyone, we are now going to look at a more formal way of doing the prime factor decomposition of a number. Now in the past, if I gave you a number such as 100, and I said write this as a product of primes, you may have done something like 10 times 10, and then you would have broken that down into 2 times 5 times 2 times 5 to get the answer. Now we're going to do a method called the upside down bus stop method. It has various other names, but that's what I'm going to call it. And we're going to see how we can write something as a product of primes in a slightly more methodical way. So let's get started with the first example. Okay, so we're going to use the upside down bus stop here. And this is how we start off. So it says express 120 as a product of primes. So first thing we want to do is write the number 120, and then we're going to draw an L shape just like this. I'll use different colors in fact for this one. So 120, and then now we need to pick a prime number that goes into 120. It can be any of these, or it can be any of the numbers that are not listed here, as long as they're prime. You should usually start with the simple numbers. So I'm going to just start with 2. So 120 divided by 2 will give me 60. And then I'm going to draw another upside down bus stop. I'm going to see what prime number can I divide 60 by with no remainders. Well, I can decide to divide it by 2 again. So I'm going to get 30. I'm going to do upside down bus stop again. I'm going to pick a prime number again that divides, that fits into 30. So 2 does go, so we'll go with 2. So we're going to get 15. And we're going to keep going. 15, now 2 doesn't go into 15, so we might go to the next prime number, 3. Does 3 go into 15? Yes, it does. I'm going to go with 3, but I could also go with 5. And then in this case, we know 15 divided by 3 is going to give me 5. And now I have to pick a prime number that goes into 5. Well, 5 is a prime number, so I can only divide it by 5 and 1. And that leaves me with 1 as a remainder. It's not a remainder, sorry, it's just 1 as the last factor. So what you've done here is you've represented 120 as a multiplication of all of these numbers here. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 5 will give us 120. Now you'll notice that all of these are primes because we chose prime numbers here, and we're just going to double check that this is correct. So this makes 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 3 is 24. 24 times 5 is going to be 120. So this does work. And this is the method that we're going to use to show a number as a product of primes. Now there's a couple of tips here. You should remember these numbers should always be prime numbers because that's what the question says. It says product of primes. The other tip here is you can do this in a different order. So I'm just going to very quickly do this in another way. So 120, I could have decided at first to instead divide it by 5. So when I do 120 divided by 5, I'm going to get 24. When I divide that, and now I can pick any prime number here. So let's go with 3. 24 divided by 3 is 8. I'm going to pick 2. I get 4 divided by 2. I get 2 divided by 2. I get 1. Now you'll notice the numbers I get here are the same, just in a different order. It's still going to be 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. And that is your answer here. The other thing to notice is we stop when we get to the 1 at the bottom, and we don't write 1 times. So we do not write that. 1 is not a prime number, as you already know. Okay, let's do another example here. Can you write 90 as a product of primes? If you're confident, you can have a go first. I'm going to just make a go with this now. So if you want to practice it, try it yourself first. Okay, here comes the answer example. We're going to divide it by We can't choose 9. 9 is a common mistake. People think 9 is a prime number, but instead we're going to divide it by 3 to get 30. I'm going to divide it by 3 to get 10. I'm going to pick another prime number that goes into 10. It's going to be 5. I'm going to be left with 2. Divide by 2, I get 1. I stop when I get to 1, and then I write my answer here, which is 30 equals 2 times 3 times 3 times 5. So I've just written them in a nice order, but I could write these numbers in any order I want to. Just to reiterate, I could have done this in a different way. I could have done the following. I could have divided it by 2 first to get 45. Could have divided that by 5 to get 9. 3 divided by 3 again, and I get 1. So I still get 3, 3, 5 and 2, same answer, and I stop when I get to the 1. Okay, your turn to practice. Try both of these. Just to make it slightly easier, I've listed all the prime numbers. You're very unlikely to use these really big ones, but just as an example, if you could try both of these, and then I'm going to go through the example as well. Okay, so my turn. I'm going to go through in 3, 2, 1. Right, first thing we want to do is we're going to divide by 2 to make that 120. We're going to divide by 2 again to make it 60. Divide by 2 again to make it 30. Now a prime number that goes into 30, well, 3. Actually, I can go with 2 again. Let's make that 15. Divide by 3 to get 5. Divide by 5 to get 1. So 240 is equal to 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. That is your answer. Now, an initial mistake that students make sometimes is they will do all of the working out, the lovely working out here, but then they forget to write the actual answer. This multiplication is important, so you just need to watch out for doing that. I'm going to look at common mistakes in the next couple of slides. So for 200, I hope you got the following. Divide by 2 is 100. Divide by 2 is 50. Divide by 2 is 25. Divide by 5 is 5. Divide by 5 is 1. So 200 is equal to 2 times 2 times 2 times 5 times 5. So that is how you can write 200 as a product of primes. Right. A couple of more examples here. If you could have a go, pause the video, and then I'm going to go through these with you. Okay, for the first question, we're going to divide it by what hopefully you noticed 23 is up here. 23 is a prime number, so we're going to divide it by 23. If you chose another number and you ended up with the same answer, that's fine as well. But you divide by 23, you're going to be left with 10. 10 can be divided by 2 or 5. Let's just go with 2 in this case. We're left with 5. Divided by 5 is 1. We stop at 1. And then we have to write our answer. 230 is equal to, in numerical order, 2 times 5 times 23. Okay, the last example on this slide, let's go through this. So the number is quite big, so we're going to keep our division simple at first. We're just going to divide by 2 first. So 1150 divided by 2. We're going to half 1,000 and then half 150. You're going to end up with 575. Now I know you can't divide that by 2, but you can divide it by 5. So 575 divided by 5, you can work that out on the side. You're going to get 115. And we're going to divide by 5 again. So 115 divided by 5. Well, there's 25s in 100, and then there's another 3, so it's going to be 23. And actually the previous example reminds us that 23 is a prime number, so we're left with 1. Now the final answer has to be written clearly. 1150 is equal to 2 times 5 times 5 times 23. So we now have a way of writing numbers as products of primes using what I call the upside down bus stop method. Let's do the next set of slides looking at misconceptions. So spot the mistake, pause the video. When you have spotted it, unpause the video. Okay, so hopefully you've spotted that the common mistake here is this: 9 is not a prime number. So that's wrong. It should be written as 2 times 5 times, now rather than 9 it should be 3 times 3. Okay, and you can write that in numerical order to make it look a bit nicer. Okay, pause the video, spot the mistake, and then we'll go through this. Okay, so hopefully you spotted the fact that the mistake here is that 1. That 1 doesn't belong in the final answer. It does belong in the working out here, but we don't write the 1 there. Okay, just watch out for that type of mistake. Right, pause the video until you spot the mistake and then unpause it. Okay, so hopefully you spotted that in this case the working out is fine. It's just we haven't written this as a product. To write it as a product you need a multiplication sign. 2 times 3 times 5. So again, it's a common silly mistake that people just do a list with commas, so just watch out for that. Okay, here's another example. Write this, spot the mistake and then pause the video. Okay, so let's have a look. We can see the working out seems good. This is more of a silly mistake. You can see there's 2 2s and 3 3s, but there's 3 2s and 2 3s, so it's just a bit of a copying down mistake. It should be written as 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. So there's just one extra 3, that should be a 2. So these are easy marks that you can lose when you're working stuff out, so just be aware of that. Okay, another type of mistake. I think we've covered all the common mistakes. So this is just a summary. Right, so time to do some independent work. Please write the following as a product of primes. Now you may be required to use prime numbers that are not listed here. These are just the first few prime numbers in the corner for your convenience. Pause the video and work out the answers. Okay, here come the answers in 3, 2, 1. So these are the answers. Mark your work. Hopefully you got 4 out of 4. And we're going to look at some other methods in the next few videos. Hit subscribe, smash the like button. I'll see you in the next one.